There we go. We are going live. Fantastic. Hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for popping in. Can you believe that we are already at the end of the month? It is August 27th. But even at the end of the month, we still have hours left on the 27th, the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th. I always personally stop at the 30th, not because that's when the business ends, but that's a great way to have some early goals. So you're not trying to make that finish line, by a nose. So that's definitely a place to aim, is that 30th. That's still 4 days. That's 4 whole days. And then once you've met all your goals, you have that 5th day to really just put, as my mom would say, the cherry on top of the sundae. We are excited to just recognize, not just recognize, but to recognize these amazing folks on this list. We call it making a difference. And what making a difference is at least one sale. People come to our business in multiple ways. And the truth is that your business is made just one sale at a time, one family protected at a time. We see here some familiar names and a couple new ones: Julie Gershon, Fitzgerald and Joanne, Saintime, myself, Jim Tanner, and his wonderful wife, Danielle Rousseau, Rousseau, Amy Mahoney, Bob Cheesley, Sharon Mendes, Marilyn Weeks. We see EBS Insurance Brokers, Daniel, last name Ilaire, Cheryl Miller, Vivian, last name Njang, and Clifford Pallard. Congratulations for making a difference. I will remind everybody, we do a little shout out. I will remind everybody that the reports are always just a little bit behind. So certainly if you've made a difference in August and you feel that the report is in error, your name is missing, we absolutely want to take a moment to recognize you, because that's what this time is about, is for our connection and for us to know how people are doing, how that we're working, and to continue to make a difference in people's lives. We do have some August Performance Club folks. We have Julie Gershon, myself, Jim Tanner, and Danielle Rousseau, Amy Mahoney, Fitzgerald and Joanne Saintime, and Dequan Booker. Now, again, we still have 5. I know it's 5. I know it's not 4, it's actually 5. We have 5 whole days till the end of the month. There's a lot of PC time in those 5 days. There's a lot of PC time. The thing that is on everybody's lips is our upcoming leadership conference. And I got to tell you, I have been to a couple of them and they are phenomenal. They are really outrageous. You go there, you hear not only from the top of our company, but we have leaders from all locations coming in and just bringing their wisdom. You're able to look deeper into the products that we're able to go and share in people's lives. And because of COVID and because of all of the things around us, Legal Shield has already come to announce that we are doing it via live stream. And those tickets are $99 for 2 full days of training. However, I am aware that there might be a certain Millionaire Club person on this line who might be able to hook you up with some $69 tickets. And so coincidentally, he is the gentleman in the next slide. And I want to go ahead and bring in Mr. Jim Tanner.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, I'm going to go ahead
Thursday evening to all of you.
Spotlight you. Okay, there you go.
Oh, all right. Hey, I'm spotlighted. That feels pretty good.
You are so special.
And I don't know if it matters on your end. We don't, I don't have any slides to share, but I just want to talk with everybody. First of all, congratulations to all of our Massachusetts State associates for making a difference. That perhaps out of all of the things that we have as incentive programs and recognitions, that is the most appropriately named recognition program I have ever seen in my 16 years at Legal Shield. Making a difference. So many times I have worked with associates and they would say, I've only sold 1 membership this month. And yes, we want to Performance Club qualify everybody. I'll talk about that a little bit tonight, but You have to recognize the colossal, momentous impact you're having on somebody's life when you help them become a Legal Shield member. Think about how you've used your Legal Shield membership, all of the ways it saved you time and money and heartaches and headaches. And think about how it's felt to know, even before Legal Shield solved the problem for you, that you don't have to get worked up. You don't have to beat your head against the wall. You don't have to check your blood pressure, because you're just going to tap the app, and a real attorney that knows what to do is going to tell you exactly what your rights are. And then it's all going to be fine. You know, I've been living like that my entire adult life, because I became a Legal Shield member at 19 years old. And I just think it's the best decision I ever made outside of marrying my wife. And I think about that, and I think about all the experiences I've heard and testimonials from all of the members. So when I combine all that together in my mind, you can't say, well, I only sold one membership, or I only signed up one member. You changed somebody's life. You gave a voice to somebody that otherwise wouldn't have the voice. Someone stands taller and sleeps better at night because you did that. So you are making a difference. Now, can you do more? Can you make a difference in more people's lives? Yes, you can. And we're going to talk about that here for a few minutes this evening, because it is August 27th. And I know I don't see everybody on the screen that's on because there's folks on Facebook, and there's folks on the Zoom. And I just want you to know, I know some of you folks are in my organization, and you just heard me talk about this for an hour, and you don't want to hear me talk about it again. But that's for the last hour on my team webinar. We talked about the power of Performance Club, on how it drives growth in an organization, in a business. And you do have a business. It's not a hobby. Now, people treat it like a hobby, and that's okay too. As long as you tell someone about Legal Shield, Jim Tanner's your friend, because you're doing the right thing as far as I'm concerned. But if you want to treat it like a business and earn some income, maybe that's $500 or $1,000 extra a month. Maybe you'd like to make it your career. And listen, there's a lot of folks on here. Maybe that's $40 or $50 or $60,000 a year. Maybe it's $100,000 or $200,000 a year that would make this a career for you. Whatever it is, it all rises and falls on Performance Club. Joe and I talk every Wednesday, sometimes for longer than others, sometimes at the expense of other things we should have been doing. But we talk every Wednesday religiously. And what we talk about more often than not is Performance Club, and how it is so impactful to your business. And I'm just going to share a few thoughts about that tonight off the top of my head. And because I just talked about this, I don't want to feel like I'm going over the same ground again. But what Joe and I often talk about is why something so simple as Performance Club has such a monumental effect on your Legal Shield business. And it starts out with the fact that your Legal Shield business is a leverage business. So here's what that means. Leverage is a component of wealth. So if you want to be able to create wealth, which is different than income, they're both money, but there's a difference, because wealth is something that can accumulate and it has nothing to do with your time, and it allows you to do other things while also earning money. That's creating wealth. Now, if you want to create wealth and earn income, then you need leverage. And leverage in our business is the organizational production of your team. Well, maybe you've never thought about it like this before, but a lot of times when we sponsor somebody into the business brand new, we kind of get them in and we start thinking like that's the finish line, like got one, now I've got somebody in. And I used to think like that too, because I used to not understand how I was to impact their lives as a new entrepreneur in our business. And I learned that every associate needs a target, whether that associate wants to earn a little bit of money extra to supplement their income, or wants to make this their full-time career. There has to be a target. And Performance Club is Legal Shield's longest running incentive program for a reason. It just flat out works. Performance Club allows people, whether they're spare time like I was when I got started, or they're part-time or they're full-time, to earn bonuses for doing consistent activity. And you know what? For some people, it will seem effortless that really to write one or two memberships and to sign up one or two associates throughout the course of a month, they'll make it look so easy. And for others, they'll struggle. Now, none of that's going to matter. What matters is that you subscribe to this culture of consistency in your business. Once you start Performance Club qualifying, after your second month, you begin earning a bonus. So now you get a little bit of a cash incentive, and that can range from $35 and continues on. As a matter of fact, you can earn over $500. I'm sorry, you can earn $500 a month in Performance Club incentives for you for being Performance Club qualified every month. That's $6,000 a year. If I could have had an extra $6,000 a year while I was delivering furniture for a living without having to go to another job, that would have been a dream for me. I worked part-time every night after work, closing a retail store in the mall, and I did not make $6,000 in a year doing that. That's the power of Performance Club. It could bring a parent home. It could keep a parent from having to go and get a second job. It could keep somebody in a position to take care of their aging adult parents. I mean, it is monumental in people's lives. $6,000 is a lot of money. And that's on top of the compensation, on top of the overrides. But even though the money's great and the vacations, which I could do a whole webinar on the vacations, we've been to Cancun and Atlantis in the Bahamas, Jamaica, Cabo. We went to Iceland. None of those things would have happened without Performance Club being Performance Club qualified, because it was a requirement for all of those trips. We've been to Vegas to a VIP Cirque du Soleil experience, Universal Studios in Orlando, where they shut down the City Walk and closed down part of the park just for Legal Shield associates. We were just in Disney World in January, 5 Diamond Resort, which I now understand is part of that NBA bubble. 5 Diamond, I didn't know how many diamonds anything was. Listen, there was nothing 5 Diamond in my life before Legal Shield. I can tell you that. We went with some friends. I'd never been to Disney World before. We went with Olive, my daughter's godparents. They go all the time. And they just kept saying, we have never seen Disney World like this. We have never been to any resorts like these. And we got to cut the line, and it was just unbelievable, incredible experience. So setting all of that aside, Performance Club is a culture, and this is Joe, what we talk about. So, Joe's my secret weapon. Maybe I'm 10% hers. I don't know. We'll see as time goes on. But by the way, Joe, congratulations for everything you're doing. Another stellar month. Fantastic work. I got to shine the light on her because she puts up with me all week long, all month long. Everybody at Legal Shield gives me all the credit, but she does all the work. It's a great deal for me, but she definitely is the one that does all the work. So kudos to you, lady, for putting up with me for another week and another month. And as we're wrapping up August, she's doing what I tell and teach everybody to do, which is the same thing I'm doing. She's leading from the front. She's Performance Club qualified because the speed of the leader determines the speed of the pack, because everything we do in our business will duplicate, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. We do bad things that will duplicate down into the team, create a culture. The team and Performance Club is a culture. Here's what happens. Now I got to talk with my hands, so I got to move. Okay, so Performance Club this is why it's so monumental to your business, because it is if you think about what your goal should be in Legal Shield is to get to executive director. This says my connection is unstable. Maybe I'm unstable. Is to become an executive director, which is $1,400 per month in premium written by you and your team. If you do that, and I want you to do that because you're maximizing the compensation plan. What does that mean, Jim? Well, when you sit down with me over a cup of coffee and you sell me a membership, as an associate, you're going to earn $100. You sign me up for Legal Shield and ID Shield 3 Bureau, you're going to make $100. Pretty good business opportunity. But as an executive director, you're going to make $308 for doing the exact same thing. Same cup of coffee, same amount of time. That's maximizing the compensation plan. So as an executive director, you're going to earn more money. Also, you're going to earn more overrides, because our override system rewards you the higher in the compensation plan you go. And we could do a whole training on that, which we're not going to tonight, but I'll help you with that if you have a question about the comp plan, because I know it. The point is, executive director allows you to earn more override income as well. So you want to be an executive director to maximize the compensation plan. But being an executive director doesn't mean that you're all of a sudden doing this 80 hours a week, because you could still be very part-time. I'm part-time in Legal Shield. I'm a full-time dad and a full-time husband, full-time, hiking and pulling weeds in my yard and playing with my dog and living my life. and a part-time Legal Shield associate because of what we talked about, that component of wealth called leverage. Because Performance Club is an incentive program that you qualify for on the calendar month. So the first step to being an executive director is you never miss Performance Club, because the speed of the leader determines the speed of the pack, because everything you do will duplicate, good or bad. So by going out in front of your team and showing them that you're serious and you Performance Club qualify, now you're getting those bonuses, which is great. But now your team, some of them, not all of them, but some of them will do what you do and duplicate, and they're getting Performance Club bonuses, which is great. You get bonuses. I don't know if everybody knows this. You get bonus money as a sponsor for everybody in your team that Performance Club qualifies. So Legal Shield pays them money and pays you money, which is really awesome. On top of that, and really the point I wanted to get to, which is it is a calendar month qualification. So Joe, what else is a calendar month qualification? Senior director, right? What else is a calendar month qualification? Executive director, right? So now your whole team is rowing in the same direction. Picture a team of people in a rowboat, and they're rowing the boat. If the person in the middle of 5 people rowing, if the person in the middle just starts rowing in the other direction, all they're doing is banging into everybody's oars and no one's going anywhere. If your whole team is rowing in the same direction, which in this case means they know that they're supposed to be and focused on why and how to Performance Club qualify every month, then the magic of that is all of a sudden their Performance Club efforts plus yours equals the $1,400 in premium you need on a monthly basis to be an executive director. So maybe you have 10 or 15 or 20 people in Performance Club in your team. And then it becomes 30 and 40 and 50. And it starts happening earlier and earlier in the calendar month. By the 27th of August, the majority of your team has already done it. You're not even thinking about it. You're thinking about doubling the bonus by hitting Performance Club Pro or other incentives that you're focused on in the team. But by doing that, you're executive director qualifying earlier and earlier in the month, earning those top commissions, top overrides. Oh, and by the way, additional bonus dollars go to the executive directors in just every incentive that the company puts together. So is Performance Club important? Yeah. Sometimes we look at that, we say, well, I could earn $35 after 2 months in Performance Club. Well, that's not a big deal. Well, it's $1 million mistake, because there are no millionaire club members that are not in Performance Club, because it's fundamental to your business. Because this, again, whatever you do is going to duplicate the good or the bad. So with that being said, if you'll indulge me for a few more minutes, and then I'll give it back to Joe for some closing thoughts. What can you do right now if it's the 27th of August? We've got a few days, the weekend, we're going to come into Monday, and Monday is going to be the end of the month. What can I do to be Performance Club qualified? Well, number one, take an inventory of your business and just be honest with yourself. And if the number's 0, if you have 0 Performance Club points, then the number's 0. You're not going to listen. Every millionaire club member has been in the 27th of the month with 0 Performance Club points. This is kind of where you start to see who you are and who you're going to be in the business, because you could leave it at 0. I see a lot of people say, well, I just didn't get it done this month, but September is going to be different. Be careful, because if you'll say that to your business today, about this time next month, you'll say it again, because everything you do will duplicate in your business, including the things you do will keep being the things you do. So take an inventory. If it's 0, it's 0. Listen, to be in Performance Club is 90 points, and you get a point for selling for every dollar of premium you sell. So if you sat me down and you wrote me up for $60 worth of premium, you'd have 60 points. So that's easy. And by the way, if you recruit me into the business, you get a multiplier on those 60 points, becomes 90 points. All of a sudden, you could be Performance Club qualified with one person. Maybe it takes you 2, depending on what those people sign up for. The point is, it doesn't take all month. Almost everybody that Performance Club qualifies does it in about 24 to 48 hours. They just like to wait until it's the last 24 to 48 hours. So that's a habit we want to break, right? So you can get it done. There's plenty of time, and it starts by taking inventory. Number 2, after taking inventory, is focus on what you can control. Here's what you can control and I can control. We can control how many people we share this information with, and our willingness to follow up with them after we share it. When we ask them to watch it, are we willing to go back to them and see if they did? I mean, that's what we control. We do not control whether or not they're going to sign up before the end of the month, because that's on our timeline, not on theirs. We don't control that. We don't control whether they'll ever watch it. We don't control whether they'll see it, uh, the power of the membership or the opportunity. We don't control any of that. So we control how many people we show it to. And that takes me to my next point, which is to not lose your posture at the end of the month here. You know, there's this whole thing. I was saying this to Joe. I would love to know the retention of all the memberships that come in about the last 3 hours on the last night of the last night of the month, and compare those to retention of the rest of our business. We're a $2 billion company. We write memberships that stay on the books. That's why we are this incredible growing concern of a company that does the right thing even when nobody's looking. So we don't ever want to lose our posture. Here's what that means to me. We don't want to get to the point where, you know, it's Monday, August 31st, and it's 4 p.m. and we're over talking to our cousin and saying, bro, just do me a favor and sign up for this, because I need to be in Performance Club, because Jim Tanner said it's important. That's losing your posture. You know what that is? That's missing the point. That's winning the battle and losing the war, because you're not going to have good retention doing that. And then you're going to have other problems. Plus, everything you do duplicates, right? We established that, the good and the bad. So now you'll have a team of people that do the same thing at the end of the month. The reason that we have great retention in my team is because we act consistently all month long. Now, there are times we need to act with urgency, but we do not lose our posture. You are operating a business where everywhere right now there are people that need Legal Shield and they have no idea that Legal Shield exists. Let me contrast that to other things. Like if this was soda and you have a customer and they buy a Pepsi and they're choosing Pepsi over Coke, see, they know what their options are. They know that there's Pepsi and Coke and they're picking Pepsi. That's not what this is. People think there's only one way to get access to the justice system. $300, $400, $500 an hour, talking to an attorney that doesn't care about them and is dismissive of them because they don't have the money and they're not wealthy and they don't come from the country club scene that they're used to dealing with their clients from. That's the only legal world that people think exists. They don't know there's an option until you and I show them the option. And then all of a sudden their world changes. All of a sudden a mobile app allows them to get their will done or updated. It allows them to ask legal questions. It allows them the opportunity to have their speeding tickets defended. It allows them a voice. And they don't know that exists. Right now, everybody that we didn't talk to today goes to bed with no clue that Legal Shield is an option. That's why we do this, to make sure that people know what their options are. And some people seize on that option. Now that's our posture, that we're going to go out there today, like it's every other day, and do the right thing, share the opportunity, share the membership, tell the Legal Shield story. But we don't ever want to lose our posture. And then finally, and Joe, back to you here in a moment, my final thought is this. I've kept saying this to you, how you do anything is how you'll do everything, right? I mean, I say it over and over again, but it comes down to this. There will be times in the future in your Legal Shield business where the stakes will be far higher than Performance Club, and it will be the end of the month. And for some of you, it will be executive director. For some of you, it'll be a bonus worth $10,000 or $100,000, and it will be down to the last minute, and it will be time to act with urgency. Learn now how to navigate those emotions and how to navigate this business when the stakes are far lower, so that when those things come up, you're prepared. You know exactly how to act and how to conduct yourself. You don't lose your posture and you don't get emotional, because you know how to operate, because you learned how to do it by consistently being Performance Club qualified. You have a team of people that are consistently Performance Club qualified, and the business becomes fun. The leverage kicks in, the income grows without your time invested growing. You get to be a parent, an adult child. You get to be a member of your church and your community. You get to be the person you always wanted to be. instead of having to be someone who just simply trades their time for money. That's the future if you build this right, because it's a great company. The money's real. The product is unbelievable. And we are growing like never before. You're not missing the opportunity because the opportunity is just too massive. But the reality is people are joining Legal Shield by the thousands. They're getting the membership by the tens of thousands. We just need to get some of that success to land on your doorstep. Joe, over to you.
Thank you so much. Amazing. I love that you have been sharing this wonderful message with us. Hang on a second. I'm putting on the spotlight over here. Hello, hello. Thank you so very much. I mean, just so PC, right? That is those are the bricks on which our business is built. That's what's going to build the house and the pool and the vacations. You know, Jim talked about, I have the unbelievable fortune to have a millionaire who wants to tell me things. And so I'm going to tell everybody who wants to listen. And then we get to come here and we also get to listen to him and find that out. So like to squander, to look away from hearing somebody who has been up that road and not listen to those pieces of advice is foolish. Honestly, it's just foolish. But we also know that we have to do good business. So it does come back to us. It's not just about following advice, but it's also about turning to us and saying, okay, well, what is good business? Well, if you're unsure of what things are going on, well, that's the beautiful thing about having servant leadership. You're able to look to your upline. You're able to look to the people around you to help carry you over that finish line while you're getting what you need. The other thing is we have third-party tools. So if you're feeling insecure, if you're feeling like, I don't know how to move forward, use some of those tools to be able to represent you, to be able to be there for yourself, for your team, because that third-party tool, that video, that presentation, whatever it is, it has the information right. For me personally, I don't know if I'm like you, but very often if I'm down to the wire, that's the time when I get more like I don't know if you're like me, but like I'm more inspired, like, oh, the harder the pressure, the better I'm going to be. Well, very often what that also means is that you're very likely running out of time, right? For us, we're talking about monthly goals. So again, looking at back, and I already told you my secret, right? So I know there's 5 days left, but really I'm looking at it as 4. I'm looking at it till the 30th, and I'm treating every day like it's the last day of the month. Because what it's doing is it's incentivizing me. I'm trying to be a little more productive, and it's also trying to get me to my goal before the deadline. And I'm going to tell you, I almost lost eligibility. I'm still relatively new in this trajectory, and I almost lost eligibility for the business bonus because I'm in a senior director position. I'm still learning the ropes. I'm figuring things out. And when you come down to the wire, this is a robust business. We have headquarters, we have people who are checking, dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And so you don't want to find yourself in those hours while they are there for you. But it also means that you need to be very astute with your business to make sure that everything qualifies, that everything happens in time, because you could find yourself, like a lot of people have, 0.25 away from winning a trip. For me, it was about placing. That's a great reminder. Like if you have people coming in and you have to place them, that's also part of some of these incentives and bonuses and all of that. And so if you're really looking at trying to incentivize yourself, it may not be the crunch of time, the stress, the pressure where you need to act at your best, but really trying to bring that into every day and look at your why. Why are you in this business? Why do you want things to be different? Is there something internal to you? Is there some truth that you're trying to find? For me, for a while, it was I wanted to prove something to somebody. I don't know who those somebodies were. For another while, is I wanted to do good for people around me, right? And I think that's inherently who I am. For me, my why is that I don't want my teenager ever to be poor like I was when I was growing up. I never want them to be able to suffer. I never want them to struggle and suffer like I did. I also look at the fact that I love doing things for others. And so I want to have a wealth where I can support people and do fun things and do stuff for them and not have to worry that I'm also not going to pay my electric bill or not be able to buy groceries. And those are my whys today. And my whys might shift over the time. So I challenge you all too, to like, what is that thing that's going to inspire you? What is that thing that's not going to bring you down to the wire so that you can, Just make it over. Get to PC this month. 90 points, $90. Doable. Doable. People need ID shields. People need legal shields. If you have, and you should have, members that are in outside other states, they have the availability to have entrepreneurial package to include that small business. It's there. And I'm going to tell you, I too am afraid of picking up the phone. I too am afraid of making that call or asking that person. And every day I combat that. Every day I ask for advice. And the thing that Jim told me, he said, when I told him I was afraid, he said, I can fix that. The only thing we can do, the only thing we control is exposures. That's the only thing. So that's my job, and that's your job. And we've got 5 more days to do it. I want to thank you so much for showing up, whether here or virtual or later. We'll be back here, same bat channel, same bat time next week. Go BPC. I can't wait to see that list, like just double and triple for our next meeting. Have a wonderful night. Talk to you soon.